Please welcome Richard Awuor.
Thank you. My name is Richard from Tanzania in East Africa. And the reason I'm here today on this platform is because 270 million households across the emerging markets of Africa and Asia are actually off the national grid in the respective countries. And that these communities today burn firewood and kerosene and candles for light. And they impact the environment negatively and heavily, of course, maybe not to the scale of diesel-powered factories, but quite substantially as well. In the process, these communities are impacted socially by the kerosene that they burn when they inhale the fumes, and that affect a lot of their respiratory systems. And their kids hardly get enough time to study because the firewood and kerosene burns out. They too relatively spend quite significant portion of their meager income in purchasing this dirty energy. Now, we probably already agree that solar power in the current form provides the best alternative to this dirty energy today, and especially for these 270 million households. But as it turns out, majority of these communities actually live on less than $2 a day. They're actually low-income communities, rural-based. So a lot of innovation and a lot of work and a lot of funding has gone into developing fantastic equipment in microgrid solar systems. Our Global Off-Grid Lighting Association estimates that between the year 2007 and 2015, about 407 million was put into developing fantastic solar equipment targeted at these communities. But a lot of them cannot afford this, and yet the solution is out there. We also know that the process of giving these communities solar power and renewable energy has actually a business opportunity of about $50 billion, and that's according to Global Off-Grid Lighting Association. So we are introducing a new solution that will enable the same communities to acquire the same fantastic devices so produced, and they actually pay for them in a program lease to own over a period of time. Next slide, please. Let me say this, that we already have a couple of fantastic pay-as-you-go solutions to help the same communities transition into clean energy. But most of the tech solutions that you have today for the communities are actually based on desktop applications. The desktop applications that we know today run on smartphones and require internet. Again, another challenge that within these communities that are rural-based, internet penetration is actually very small, whether it's in Africa or Asia. In fact, a country like Tanzania has internet penetration of about 5%. And mainly in urban areas where there could be electricity already. So that's a second challenge again. Kadogo, which is the platform that we're introducing today, actually runs on USSD. Maybe you already know that USSD is supported by any GSM network, and you only need a normal, cheap GSM phone to access this platform. The relevance of a USSD platform is such that we can move the connection and the transition of these communities into solar power, into pay-as-you-go technology, by using the same village agents in the same communities, so that they actually have something to do that actually translates into job creation. Because if we continue doing it through the normal hierarchy of a corporate level, then it will actually take a lot of time to get there. It is estimated that in the rate of which these communities are transitioning into clean energy, it will not be until the year 2080 before we put some form of clean energy into every home in the world. But with development of this technology, into the hands of village agents so that we can actually use the same people, give them jobs, and actually be the agents of change within this community. We can do this actually a lot faster. Next slide, please. So in that slide, the lady in blue, Aisha, is actually an example of a village agent selling prepaid solar tokens to other neighbors in the market. And through that, she earns an upfront commission of about $130 a month. She did not have a job before. I guess she would have probably gone and sold bananas, but you can see a lot of competition, so it would have been very hard for her. So we have actually translated the process of converting people from dirty energy into solar energy by making that prepaid token another product of trade in the market using very simple, already existing technology, but simplified, and actually people earn an income. The lady being sold to a token, taking it back home, the lady up there with a small boy, the husband is called Ustad. I met Ustad in Tanzania in a village called Mgeule about a year back. So Ustad teaches madrasa. Madrasa is the Muslim religious teaching that is taught to the kids. Ustad before taught only one lesson in the evening because all the lessons are done after formal education. So this is about 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. The bigger kids come from school a little later, but at the time it's already dark, so Ustad cannot teach a second class. Ustad earned about $80 a month from the madrasa teaching. We installed pay-as-you-go solar power into Ustad's house. Ustad today can teach 2 lessons. The first lesson is 6 to 7, and the second lesson for the bigger kids who come from school later is actually 7 to 8, when it's already dark, but just before the evening prayers at 8 o'clock. And Ustad therefore earns about $160 today. If you translate Ustad's income before, it was actually about $2.5 a day. So Ustad probably fell into the 270 million households that are off-grid, but cannot afford to buy a solar equipment upfront. Ustad is out of that bracket today. So actually solar power can actually translate into both social development and actually economic development, and therefore the ripple effect is massive. I thank you.